You gotta make sure, the outfit looks clean. Okay, screw the outfit. Eh. So recently, the most foul, the most putrid, the most disgusting thing has been said to me in recent times. And in that recent times, I pondered. I sat in a position where my mind drifted off. My mind drifted into looking into the sky, to the clouds, for answers, for anything, in search of my Lord and Savior, or in search of the creator of anything in life. I've been called an unk. I don't know how to really take it in response. Like, I don't know if I feel offended or because I'm pretty youthful as an individual. I'm in my early 20s. Maybe it's just because of like how I speak to people. I mean, me necessarily speaking to you guys right now. It's not no different compared to like if I were to go to talk to somebody in real life and just have a cool conversation, right? This is how I kind of portray myself as, but I had a cool talk with like some. Okay, let me tell you the story. Let me tell you the story, the rundown of what transpired into me being called an unk. So I think I was just out and about doing some like daytime things. I think previously I was like in a vintage store setting, just like shopping, and me being me, I look always fly. I try to present myself pretty decently with like just anything I have acquired to my closet setting, just clothes in general, right? I try to live my life like The Sims. Like you flip out some cool clothes from time to time, and you switch out your aesthetics and the way you look. That's how I live my life as like I'm playing Sims or something. But I was just kind of like browsing. I think the t-shirt setting, and the white shirts always look fire all the time. Every time you wear a white shirt, I'm not really wearing one right now, but it's just like a gray shirt. Gray is really cool too, but every time you wear like a cool white shirt, especially when it has like minimal graphic, settings, it looks fire. But I could ramble on about clothes, but I think I was just browsing the shirt sections. Some youthful like the younger generation approached me, and they just started like having some cool conversation talks with me about like, just like outfits or just what I'm inspired by or like what and me wanting to know what they're inspired by as well, and then it just trickled down into a freaking music taste, which was surprising because they literally listen to the cool stuff, the cool music that I listen to as well, um, which was really surprising. I'm not gonna like, expose their ages and something like that, but they were pretty young in a sense where they knew a lot of things that I knew, which is cool. Like they knew about like old Frank Ocean music. They knew about Common. They knew about just all of these cool artists that I listened to, and yeah, at that age, I was not listening to no freaking what you call it. No, I was not listening to no Sade, no Coldplay and stuff like that, or just underground music stuff. But these people were. So let me just forward this up because I don't want to make this video long. I just wanted this to just be just a video. Um, but I think it later transpired into me kind of asking them like, what kind of shows did you grow up on? Like, what kind of TV shows did you grow up on? I think I pulled out like freaking Shake It Up. If you guys know that channel on Disney, Shake It Up. I think Dog with a Blog I mentioned. What else did I mention? Uh, what? I think I brought up. What else did I bring up? Shoot, you get the memo. I brought up a lot of OG. Oh, Ned. I think it's called Ned Survival's Guide, School Survival Guide, or something like that. I brought that up to their attention, but they just didn't know nothing about that. So like I'm over here like sweating like underneath my like like cool like my cool outfit, right? In the vintage store little setting, these I'm causing a scene or something. Like you can like sense, when the Spider-Man has like the Spider-Man tendencies when you can has a little like freaking thunderbolts around his head when like something is like transpiring or going on that's like something that's really weird or something that's nourishing or you're sensing something. So I'm sensing around this whole vintage shop that people are like, yo, why are they just having the most loudest conversation in the corner of like, the t-shirt section of the vintage shop? So they didn't really ask me necessarily about my age and stuff. I guess they really sensed that, the way I talked or like the way I appeared, they're like, oh, he's one of those or something. Like, because when I be talking, it's like you're talking to, a flying star in the cosmos. Like I'm like that one rare beady little star that you just so happen to see in the sky where it's like so glistening, shining bright. And that one night you're just looking up into the sky and like, damn, WWE is fake or something. And then you just see a bright star and it's like, oh my gosh, that's moi thinking. That's moi thinking. But yeah, so I forwarded those shows to them. They did not know a lick of that. And then and then later on it just forwarded to like video games, what kind of video games you guys like. And they brought up like Minecraft, Roblox, and like I'm like, dude, I grew up on the OG freaking I grew up on the Pokemon freaking Sapphire and Pokemon Red. Those are the kind of games that I was playing, as like during their time in their setting. So later on, I mentioned those kind of games. They're like, "Oh yeah, I play like Pokemon Sapphire, Pokemon like Red or something." Did you guys ever experience that as well? And then they're just like, they're looking at each other like, "How old is this guy? This guy's like great unk. This guy's like sensei or something." And then it kind of forwarded on. They're like, "Yo, they just I think they just blatantly said it out like, "Yo, you're pretty you're like unk or something." And then the moment real like I didn't really initially it didn't really hit me because like we were just having like a cool talk and stuff like that. Like we even talked about sports, which like I love basketball, so we just talked about basketball, and these people knew a lot about basketball as well, older players and stuff like that, which is really cool. Um, and then yeah, just after the conversation, after I just bought my little white T-shirt out the visit shop, I stepped out of that freaking door, and as soon as I stepped out into the door, the reality hit me. It was like on some like Neo in the Matrix. Neo in the Matrix is like whooshing through the bullets and stuff like that in slow motion. I was like re-dissecting the conversation that like the cool conversation that I had with just like these cool kids, and like it just hit me like as soon as I walked out, I was like, "You're like pretty unk." Those are the exact words that those jits said to me. Them jits, the little ruts, the little rascals, said to me, "You're like, oh dude, you're like pretty unk, yo." Yeah, I guess, I guess I am an unk. I walk around with the unk brain, but that's not so necessarily bad in life to be called an unk or to be called this and to be called that. It's just a sign of respect, in my opinion. It's not a sign of being disrespectful. Just as just like how you have your time in life, there are other individuals walking this very earth that are just firstly being introduced to the things that you've loved at a different time, at a current setting. So never feel like you're old in life. It's just time. Like for me, I think it, I think it stems from me watching a lot of cool older films in a sense, like the 70s, anything ranging from the 70s, 80s, 90s, just old stuff, old music, old anything. digital media, how they marketed certain things, how they branded certain things in the older, like in the past times. It just looked aesthetically cooler, pleasing, a lot more simplistic and simpler, if I can say so. Maybe I get some of my unkness and my senseiness and my, my beautiful tone of voice, speech, dialect, this beautiful, uh, crispy English literature speaking ways from just me being really fascinated by older past things. But yeah, um, I didn't want to drag this video on longer. I just wanted it to be kind of like short, simple, simplistic, but I've been called an unk. And my message over to you, if you've ever experienced, if you're pretty young at this age too, in your early 20s, and you came, like, people came up to you and like called you an unk or anything like that, or you're pretty old, you're not old. You're not old. If anything, you should be glad you know a lot of things that these individuals don't be knowing. It's just up to you to be able to flourish out the knowledge as well. Since you know, don't gatekeep a lot of things. Just just share a lot of the cheat codes to everybody in life. All of us are just trying to just be us at the end of the day. Be ourselves at the end of the day, right? So unk moi thinking. Bye.